Hey, and how's it going this evening? Hello and welcome to Sylvan Mist Designs. Tonight, okay, so what have I got going tonight? As it says in the caption here, I'm going to be making some beaded keychains. Now, the idea wasn't originally mine, at least for the bead part. And I thought I'd put my own little mandala stamp on things. In front of me, I've got just a little wooden dowel here, a little old skewer that I've taken. It's gotten pretty messed up already. Covered it in a little bit of tape, and you're going to see what that's for here in a minute. I have got a bunch of beads. Okay, these are all small wooden beads. You can kind of see how tiny these are. And what I'm going to be doing, I have a keychain here. Okay, so I've got a bar that I'm going to be putting these on. This is where your keys will be, and then I've got the hanger as well. Okay, so you're going to have this nice long attachment here. Okay, I have been playing around a little bit trying to figure out what sort of design I want. I've done a couple of beads. Hey, Car, how's it going? I've done a couple so far just kind of as a test. I'm doing a couple colors. I've got purple, teal, burgundy, black, and dark blue. I knew I was missing one in there somewhere. Okay, so these are the ones that I've done so far. So they've got just a real simple little pattern on them. And let me tell you, it's tiny. And I'll kind of show you how this is going to work. Good to hear. It's kind of been a minute. It really has. Okay. Now these are not complete yet. I'll tell you that. These beads, I do plan on sealing them as well. I'm going to go ahead and get a nice gloss sealer on these. So they're going to look better than this. But these are just the ones that I finished the other day. Okay, so they're going to be like that. Okay. All right. And then, you know, whatever. Now, the other problem that I've got is because you can see here, 4 beads fit, but they're a little loose. They do have a space on them here. And so I'm going to need some spacers to go in here. So I'm going to need to find some spacers too. But hey, just to kind of give you an idea. Oh, you're doing bird. Is it just one birdhouse, or are you doing multiple? Are there going to be more? I mean, like decoration, or are they going to be functional birdhouses? Houses. I guess, depending on what you're doing. Okay. I needed a sip of coffee. All right. What I'm gonna do? How do I want to do this? Okay. Like I said, 4 beads will fit. I'm gonna take these other 4 and put them on the side. Oh, it's a decoration birdhouse. That is gonna be so cool. We currently have 2 birdhouses. Functional ones in my yard, and my husband's not gonna let me paint them. I know he's not gonna let me do that. They would be beautiful if he would allow me to do that, but I get it. I'll leave them natural for him. But that's gonna be such a fun project. Get them all sealed up and put out. Oh, and you're going to do them indoors? Oh, that's going to be cool. Do you have a theme going? Is there like a theme in your house? Nature or birds or anything? Or is it just kind of something? Yep. That's a perfect reason. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to you know what? I'm going to put the colors aside for a second. So I want to do white, but my daughter keeps asking me to do something space themed. So I'm going to do white pearl instead of regular white. And then I grabbed Mystic Teal and the Cherry Merlot. And I thought against the back, that's kind of spacey, right? I think so. I think so. It's not going to take much. I really don't need much paint. And I've got my towel actually up on my palette tonight, because I'm borrowing the little dish that I usually use. Okay. This is the only part that I'm a little concerned about because it's always a smidge awkward. The other ones that I did, the other part of this, you know what, and I need to raise my camera, otherwise I'm going to be bumping in here. Let's see. The other ones that I did, I only did one dot here kind of in the center, and then I did the swooshes around either side. This one, I want to do a few more. I want to try to incorporate like the pattern that I used on my bookmarks, for example, like kind of more of a flower. And wow, looking at this and how I'm going to get that many dots to fit around, I don't even know if I can get a 3 in here. I might be able to, but then let's see. The tops are going to be pretty close here. And if I'm thinking about, so the keychain is going to sit like this more or less, right? And so I don't want to put too much decoration down here along the edges because it's not going to be visible. It's going to be covered over. You know what? Let's go for a 3. Let's try it. Can always wipe it off. Get my other little tool handy here. Okay. Deep breath while I try to hold these still. I wish I had a better way to do this. I'm sure there's got to be a way, but it's kind of what I just came up with for now. So I'm going to start with a dot on either side of the center. That one really looks crooked. I'm going to come back to that one, but there's like a little indentation in the wood. When I was painting these, I did see 1 or 2 of them with issues. I mean, they're sold in mass, right? So not all of them are going to be perfect. But I didn't really see any that I thought had defects that were large enough to cause any issues. So we'll see. That one, it's like almost like a little scratch there. I'm just going to leave that because I don't think it's going to be a problem in the end. I might just have to dot over it again. Okay. So there's that. Doesn't look like anything yet. It will. Okay. I'm going to flip that over. Said it's kind of an awkward thing to do. If I had something else to lay these on that was maybe a little more flat, I could probably use, originally my thought was to use like a little clamp and to hold this down. But sometimes what you have in your head just doesn't come to fruition, so. Okay. All right, so got our little flower shape. I think this will stay. The paint, especially this metallic, is a little bit thicker than the traditional water-based acrylic, the other ones, the colors. So I don't really worry about this dripping at all. Gonna give that a second to dry. It really takes just a moment. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see where that divot is, but you know what? It's not that bad actually as it is now. No, huh? I mean, if you guys think different, let me know. Because, you know, sometimes you're looking at something for so long and you kind of get a little blinded. It looks like it bled a tiny bit, but again, I don't know. I don't know, you tell me. I think it'll be fine. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee here. I'm just gonna let that dry for a second, and then I'm gonna flip it over and I'll probably do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now for the fun part, to try to get it even on the other side. Seems like that would be easy, but it's really not. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull this off camera here kind of real quick because I need to look straight down it. Okay. All right, so basically what I did is I just held it upright, and so I'm looking down over the beads so that I could find the opposite side center. Actually, that's a little high. Not quite center. It's directly on the other side, but not far enough down. Okay. Okay. Now that I have that guide, then I can do the rest. And I'm only doing these 4 at a time because, like I said, each one of the keychains, each one of these here, can hold 4. So I'm going to just do them in sets like that. And even if they, what the heck am I doing? And even if they end up all being the same pattern, even if I decide that I like the design that I'm doing right now and I do that on more of them, I still only want to do them 4 at a time. Just because if I decide to make any changes or, you know, get off with my colors or whatever, at least I have, you know, a set. I'm not going to have an odd one when I put them on the bar. Okay. I'm not making any sense, am I? Yeah, so these ones, these beads here, they were just wooden. They were not colored in advance. I did go ahead and paint these, the different colors. And then again, I have this black, the red, purple, teal, and blue. I keep forgetting the blue. The blue I already have a plan for. Last year, during the whole craft fair stuff, one of the tea light holders that I had made, one of the designs was dark blue with this kind of silver, this white pearl almost. And it was just kind of that two-tone color. And I didn't really think much of it. I didn't think it would sell that well. And it did. That was the very first thing that went. So yeah, I get it. I get it. People like the blue and the silver. So I kind of wanted to be a little bit cheeky and recreate that color combination on these in hopes that it wasn't just a fluke. Yeah, these are going to be fun finished. Like I said, the only problem that I'm having right now is the spacers, the little bead spacers. I don't really know what I want to put in there. I was actually thinking something like polymer clay. They have discs for spacers instead of just like the traditional, maybe like silver or gold, the kind of rounded shell. Oh gosh, I don't even know. I don't know the terminology for the spacers. Because the typical bead spacers, if you look them up, like 90% of them seem to be silver and then have that curved shape, you know, that holds the ball or holds the bead. But because these are wooden and they're painted like this, I just don't think that the styles are going to go well together. I need something a little more rustic, crafty. I don't know. So like I said, I was thinking maybe something like the flat polymer discs, the polymer clay discs. And I can get those in kind of a neutral color, or even, I mean, I could paint those. Not that I really want to do that, I'll be honest. That'd be really small. And I'm just not 100% sure that painting tiny little spacers would be the most, how do I put this? Bang for the buck, right? All right, so there's the two sides, identical. Okay. I don't know if you can tell. This side is more or less dry. This one's still got a little bit of a shine to it. Okay, so those are gonna dry up real quick. I'm gonna take another sip of coffee here. I'm a coffee addict, let me tell you. So my next step, I've got these two colors. For anybody that wasn't here when I started, my plan is to make these kind of a spacey sort of color theme. I don't know. But I figured, like I said, black, silver, and then the teal and purple. But I didn't like the way that the purple, here's like the dark purple that I had originally picked. And I just thought that was like a little too cheesy, a little too bright of a purple. And so I went with the Cherry Merlot. And I think that'll look okay. I mean, if anyone has any other suggestions, I am happy to take them. I have plenty more to do, and I did more black than anything else. I painted more of the beads black. I think that's going to be the more popular color anyways. I mean, what do people think about doing maybe just just this color, just the silver and black. It's a possibility. All right, coffee down. Let's see. These are going to be top dots. So they're going to be on top of these. All right, so I could put another one here. That. Maybe I can just do a small one here. I think I'll leave it like that. Let's see what else I can fill. Been a long time since I've done anything this small. When I first started, I loved doing the small dots. I thought that's all I was gonna do. I was so incredibly intimidated by anything large, and I liked doing the small dots so much. But OMG, gonna go blind if I did this forever. Okay, you just started. It's so fun, isn't it? See, and I find it funny too, so you knit and you crochet, and I think it all kind of falls in the same realm. A lot of these arts and crafts, they're all so calming and so repetitive, right, in their motions. It's just the whole meditative and relaxing calmness of it. It's very, very easy to fall into this kind of group of arts and crafts stuff. Diamond painting. I found myself kind of accidentally getting into diamond painting as well. Same thing. It's because of the calm, repetitive movements, I think. Okay. Gotta take another look here. Some of these, yeah, these are gonna be fine. I have one or two on this side that are still wet. Okay, let's do this. Patterns. Sorry, that's loud. So I have to make the decision on where I want my colors and how I want to do this. I have 6. I can do every other one. Do teal, 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 and then purple. I can start with that. If I don't like it, I can go back in. You can always add more, can't take away. Okay. So I've got two options, I think. Option one is the other three. I can put purple, right? And just have every other one. Or option two is I can do all of these teal, right? And then maybe the other side purple. Or do we even just want to stick with all one color? Like, for example, do all of these in just teal. I can kind of mix and match things. But again, this is going to be one keychain, right? The more I look at this, the more I'm thinking maybe just one color. My hesitation, that is, if I do the purple on the other three, let me wipe this off. If I do purple on the other three, there's no going back. I am not going to be able to, well, okay, I shouldn't say it's impossible, but I'm not going to go back and wipe them off. I don't, I think I'm going to stick with one color because as I keep looking at this, just as it is, with silver, teal, silver, teal, my brain doesn't like that. And I'm actually going to go down to a 2. I was working with a 2.5, but I'm going to go with a 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and yeah. Yep, I like that. Okay. Just talking out loud, thinking out loud. And these small dots go so much faster with the drying. I like that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna give that just 2 short seconds. Then I'll flip it over and I'm just gonna do that on the other side. Like I said, if anybody has any other suggestions or if they think, think I should try something else, let me know, but I'm going for that. Okay. Kind of checking. Doing the double take here. Check, check, make sure nothing's gonna drip. And again, these look okay now. But once everything is dry, I'm going to take all of them. I'll probably do all of them, get them all together. I won't do it in stages, I don't think. And then I have a gloss varnish that I'm going to put on them. And I'm not going to paint that either. I'm just going to go ahead and turn the beads through the gloss. Same as I did with the paint, because I want the middles of the beads painted as well. I just didn't like the idea of actually painting them because the holes, or potentially even some of the edges, it would still be visible, the original color. Hey, sorry. I don't even know if you guys heard that. My pup is behind me sleeping and dreaming. Chasing squirrels, I'm sure. Okay. There. There we go. Now, need to do something with the sides. I can either do a large dot, or what I was thinking is maybe stick with the small. Just now I was thinking, well, what if I do a triangle kind of crown here? But I don't necessarily want to do that because I don't want it, when you look at it a certain way, I want it all to be very symmetrical. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a larger dot there, I think, then. Let's see, what have I got, a 4? Let's see if I can find my 5. Okay, I think I can let go of that. Let it sit. Okay, I was trying to be a little bit heavy-handed. Get a little more paint on these because, as you can see, it's a little transparent just around the edges on some of these. So I'm going to give that a minute to dry, as long as it's not going to flip over. And then I'll probably go over those again. And then, like I said, I still have this purple, and maybe I'll just do another set identical to this in purple. And like I said, I've got my other ones. I don't know if I want to do another set like this. I'll put them here so you guys can see these. Oops. Hold still. Hold still. Not my best work, those. Those are kind of fun, though. I've got another set of black ones here. And then while that's drying, I might as well show you the other colors that I ended up with. So I have this teal. My blue and my purple, I don't even think I can tell them apart anymore. Okay, those are the purple. There's a blue. And then here's the blue. So, and like I said, I already have a plan for the blue ones. I'm going to do those silver. But if anyone's got any suggestions on the color combinations for the other ones. Okay, go faster. Where's my 5 at? Dry faster. Okay. Okay, let's go over this. Make sure I've got the right size in my hand. Okay. Should only take a minute. Okay, those other ones are pretty okay. Maybe not. Let's see. Being up close to these, sometimes it's hard to tell. Got to step back sometimes and take a different view. Get out of this direct light. There. Now, what I could do, again, if anybody has any input, here's 2 things that I could do. Now with these ones, I could just take the teal and do a center dot, right? So just have that. Or I can go ahead and make a decision on what's the top, what's the bottom. And then maybe I can do a swoosh set here along the sides. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to have room for that. Nope, you know what? I take it back. These small dots here are way close. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a swoosh around them. That's all right. Okay, so I'll let those dry. And then I can do just a top dot of teal. If I do want to do a swoosh on the side though, then maybe on the next ones that I do, I'll think about not using a 5. Maybe I'll use a 4 here and then I can get one in. All right. Those are all dry. The teal parts look all dry. Okay. I'm trying to do a little slippery action here. Okay. I keep looking at them again just to make sure that nothing is running, that none of the paint is going to cause me any problems, no drips, funny things. Okay. It's my next set. Okay. Oops. I think I got a puppy fur on that one. Well, he's not a puppy, but you know. Pet sparkles. Everyone that I ever run into is always familiar with that. It's like glitter, right? Pet fur is adult glitter. All right. Pushing my luck. Okay. Let's do it again. I'm going to add just a tiny bit. Little bits. I can't seem to get this one any closer up here. I don't want to take these off quite yet, because like I said, I have one more dot to put on them. There. Gonna go back to the 4. So now that we know this works, for now, for this next set, we're just going to stick with what we know and what works. So I'm going to go ahead and do another set of flowers, except we're going to do it in a different color. And then on the sides, since I talked about it, let's try to make those different though. Oh, hey T, how's it doing? Oh, you just started? Coffee mugs and 2x2 canvases. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, the coffee mugs are so fun, aren't they? If you've ever seen me do anything, anyone that starts, I always tell them, start on glass, right? Ceramic, something smooth. It is a game changer. It is so fun too. Did you do them for yourself? Is it like the coffee mug that you use every day? They're so fun. I've done a couple. Ironically enough though, I haven't painted the mug that I use every day. I should. I really should. But the coffee cup that I use every day is a Caribou coffee mug. I got it from one of their stores, one of their grand openings when Caribou Coffee made it out here to the state. They opened up a new shop right downtown next to where I was working, and they were giving out free coffee mugs. And I snatched one. And I have no idea how or why this silly free mug ended up being my go-to thing. And I just have not ever figured out how to mandala paint over the Caribou Coffee logo. But oh, birthday presents. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's perfect. And that's so nice too. I hope you found some people to give them to that really appreciate them. Handmade gifts are so underrated. I think we need to get back to doing handmade stuff. Ironically enough, I think it's been so many years that Caribou coffee that I think all of their stores closed in the downtown area I was in. I don't even know where the other one is. I don't even know where they're open out here anymore. But yeah. These ones seem to be coming out a little larger. Maybe it's just me. Using the same size tool. Oh, she's a Jack fan. Oh my gosh, that's got to be so fun. No, don't stick your finger in it. Oh my gosh. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be with these other ones on there. Come watch me struggle. I mean, if these work, if this is something that I'm going to do more often, I'm going to have to figure out something else. Different way to paint these. Oh, I feel like I'm taking forever. Don't make fun of me. Those don't look right. They'll be covered up. I have faith they'll be okay. Gosh. I think I need to get the other ones off though before I do the other side. It's just killing any kind of accuracy that I had there. Yeah, I'm kind of a coffee addict. Actually, you know, I like a little bit of coffee with my creamer mostly. Sugar and cream, but really, I think I drink it more just for the taste than the caffeine. My husband thinks I'm crazy when I say that, but I'm the kind of person that I will have a cup of coffee before bed. You know, I'll finish one even 20 minutes before I lay down and I'm out like a light. So it doesn't seem to keep me awake or anything. And it's just for pleasure. It's just an enjoyable drink to me. It's not so much, like I said, the caffeine. I'm trying to think about what you said there about grooves. I'm wondering how I could do something like that. Because see, this bowl is usually, this is just the plastic little container, this little old Tupperware. And I normally use this to hold my towel that I wipe my tools off with over here, this thing. So I don't know. I don't know. First thing that comes to mind right now is my husband's got a lot of wood scrap. I wonder if I can either steal or have him make me something. Nothing fancy. I'm all about like rednecking it, right? I'm okay with duct tape solution type things. That's a good idea though, to do something with kind of indents or grooves in it. And that way I can have the dowel sit in it. Okay. All right, let that rest for a sec. As long as I know the flower portion is dry enough on these. Let's see. Let's test my luck. Okay, I'm gonna sit this off to the side. Make sure I'm not look at my hand there. Make sure I'm not pulling any of it off. the rest of the paint is dry enough. Okay. I need to sit that down for a second. Ah. Okay. Sometimes these small fiddly things, you have to wonder at some point, like, what the heck did I get myself into? Why am I into the self-punishing? Look what I just did. That's okay. That part's easy to fix. I wanted just to scoot these down. Small things look so nice, but yeah, after 9,000 of them, you're like, why? See? Wood scraps. It's always nice to have somebody around that does some kind of woodworking. Okay, let's fix that. Okay. The other thing I'm not too concerned about with any irregularities, because these are definitely not regular. They're all funky. When I put the top dots on them, it covers up 90% of that. Okay, flip this over like did the other one. Let me get the midline. Okay. Speaking about the mugs and doing stuff to prevent things rolling, I use a bean bag. Can't remember where I originally got the idea, but over time it just kind of evolved. And recently, I don't know, several months back anyways, I had just taken an old pillowcase, and originally I had old pinto beans in just a Ziploc bag. And then I could put, for example, any glass project, mug, whatever, that I was working on and lay it on that because it's a perfect surface. They don't roll around and you can kind of mold it to whatever you're working to. And the only reason I didn't like that so much, I started covering the plastic bag with like an old washcloth to keep the bag from sweating. And then of course, you know, when I'm recording or streaming, you would always have this glare. So I didn't want that either. So I started putting the bag over it, the washcloth over the bag. And then I evolved from that. And I had actually gotten a pillowcase. And I took the pillowcase and sewed it off into a nice little rectangle. And then used that now, filled with those same pinto beans. So if you're looking for a really nice way to make sure that things aren't going to move. And it's really, really nice and gentle and soft because I just picked up, you know, an old fuzzy case. So now I don't have to worry about the glare either, and it doesn't sweat. I wish I could use that for this, let me tell you. So for anybody that's kind of jumping in and watching, so I'm doing the second side of this one. Now, for this one, I'm not going to use the teal, but I'm going to do the Cherry Merlot. This is actually one of those 2024 colors that DecoArt had come out with, and it is my absolute favorite, next to Burgundy. I love that color, and I think it's going to work really nicely. And originally I was thinking about putting them together, the teal and the Burgundy, or the Cherry Merlot, to kind of get the spacey theme. And like I said, I think this happens every single time. My daughter likes space, and she wants me to do something kind of space theme-ish. And those colors I thought were really spacey, and I didn't get to combine them. I'm gonna have to make her something special. But if anyone has any really good ideas about paint and combination colors or whatever, let me know. I've only got like 12 more sets of these to do or something. It was kind of hard to get tucked in there. It's a lot harder than it looks, really. There. Just make sure all of these are dark enough. I put the top dots towards the center, so I at least want to make sure that the outside rim is dark. Okay. It'll be good for the moment. Those aren't going to go anywhere. So let's go to the other side. Going to be pretty dark, so I'm going to go down an extra half a step. So I'd normally just go down a step to do the top dot from whatever these were. So if these are a 4, then I should go down to a 3, but I'm going to go to a 2.5 so that more of the white shows. Let's see. It's funny because I just now realized I think I did the other ones in a 3 and then a 2. And I did these as a 4. No wonder they look different, right? And that is exactly why I'm only doing 4 at a time. What happened there? Something got in the paint. I'm gonna have to do a top dot over that, I think, because I don't, that is so small, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it out. It's always interesting to see what problems you run into. Except for that one dot. It got a little wonky because something got in it. By the time I finish these, the teal ones should be dry enough, and I can slide them on a keychain and show you what they'll look like. Well, minus any spacers that I haven't found yet. As I'm doing these, I'm also considering adding another top dot in the silver. You know what? Kara, I have not. I have not. And thank you so much, Steve, for stopping by. I certainly appreciate it. So Mandala Love Affair. Yeah, I've seen her quite a bit, but no, you know what? I don't think I've ever caught her lives. I'll have to go check it out. Sounds like it's going to be something interesting or worthwhile. Someone mentions it. Okay, so let's see. Since I did those before. Oh. I did not do myself any justice there, because I just shorted myself some room again. Not even realizing what I did. Okay. We will deal with it. So this one is not going to have the swooshes, so we'll do that another day. Another set. Oops. Now let's do this first. Yeah, Lydia May she's just one of the old favorites. She's like a legend, right? I don't know actually even how much she's doing anymore. I don't even remember who it was that I started watching that inspired me. I don't remember any names at this point. It was, let's see, how old is my daughter? Some people know my stories, some don't. So when my daughter was very little, when she was a baby, she would always have a hard time falling asleep, of course. You know, nothing new there. But at some point on YouTube, we started watching these videos with her. They're little animations or things that people had made. Let me try to think of an example. Like little cartoon dump trucks that would roll over to an edge of a cliff and dump off colored balls. And the colored balls would fall into a pit and be separated by color, right? And so you would see the dump truck go down, dump the balls, go back, pick up another bunch, you know, stuff like that, right? So it was really repetitive, very kid-friendly, very meditative stuff. And that's what we used to watch every night before bedtime, because they had the soothing music in the background and these silly little animations, right? Different colored balls, you know, rolling across the screen or whatever, you know, silly little things. And all of those, one night, someone doing just a typical, I don't even know if it was a stone or like a round, doing the mandala dot, and that's what came up on the screen. And after my daughter had fallen asleep, I went back and checked those out, and I was like, that looks pretty cool. I started watching them with my daughter. My daughter enjoyed them as well. You know, she's little at this point, right? She's a year and a half old. And I started thinking, because at that point I didn't even have a hobby, and I'm thinking, wow, I could do that. I don't have a creative bone in my body, but that looks like something I can do. And that's where it all started. It took me probably another 6 months just to get up the nerve to buy my first set of tools, ironically enough. I found them on Amazon, and I remember putting them in my cart, and they sat there, and they sat there, and they sat there, and I just could never get myself, I don't even know if I would say it was the courage, but I just couldn't will myself to buy them for the longest time. And then I finally did, and here I am. And that was so long ago, and I'm still not perfect. And I still only do this really as a hobby. And sometimes maybe just one night a week. But it's still the best thing that I think I've ever picked up. Need another dot there. I covered this one up, so I'm just gonna go for it. There we go. Okay. Those are still shiny. All right, let me take a look at my teal ones over here. Okay. Yep, these look pretty good. I don't think I want to get too carried away. Like I said, I could probably do another top dot, but I don't know that I want to. It's one of those scenarios, well, if I do it, am I going to regret it later? If it's something I do more often, am I going to want to do that many small dots a million more times? Yep, and I agree. Yeah, there's absolutely no need to be perfect, and that's one of the things too that I like about doing the mandala stuff. Where you know these symmetrical patterns, because even if you screw up, and I've shown that I think time and time again too, that even if you screw up, because of the symmetry and the patterns and the way that your eye is drawn, you don't notice. I mean, unless it's a huge mistake to where things are like totally crooked or, you know, whatever. As long as whatever it is you screw up symmetrically. Sounds funny. You won't notice. You won't see it. It's not a big deal. And especially, I mean, because either you make the art or you are looking at it, maybe somebody else's that does the same thing as you will notice it, right? But no one else is going to. No one notices. Okay. I'm just waiting for these to be dry enough to do that top dot on. Okay. There we go. All right, so I'm going to push this aside. Oops, hold on. And inadvertently unscrewed the top too. There. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, and I guess technically they'll be like that. And then, like I said, the only thing that I'm missing is going to be a spacer because see, I have all this space here. So I'm going to want something in between. I just need to find whatever, I don't even know. And see, all of these that I purchased, these all come apart too. So whatever somebody wants to do with them. There we go. All right. So I've got the 3 sets now. Got these. And then the maroon. Okay. Like I said, I think I'm going to leave this one here tonight. That is all I really had planned. I don't know that I'm going to do any... These ones are kind of dark, though. The only thing that I can think to do is put that extra dot. You know what? I'm going to be a bit of a maverick. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And then I'll say enough. And that'll be it. Promise. Okay. See how I change my mind? Talking myself in or out of things all the time. There. The teal ones I don't think need this. But these ones I think are a good candidate for it. Just because of how dark the color is. Theoretically, this lightens it up. Okay. And then I'll post some pictures and things like that. We're on Facebook once I'm done with these. Once I get the the gloss finish on them. And of course, like I said a million times by now, once I find some spacers. I might just have to give up and find something on Amazon. Otherwise I can always cruise the dollar store too. I always seem to find cool stuff there. Don't know that they would have any beads that small, but maybe they have something like washers. I don't know. That might be fun. All right, but as I wrap this up, if you have any suggestions for colors or patterns or spacers for me, please let me know. Drop a comment. This live will be available immediately after. So if there is anybody dropping by after the fact, same thing applies. And of course, if any of you are still interested in this, I try to do more lives these days than I do recorded stuff, because in the spring and summer months, I have a ton of gardening to do. My husband and I are building a homestead, and it is just a lot of work. A lot of work between my 40-hour day job, doing that, and then my daughter who's homeschooled as well. It's some days a little much. So recording and editing is just, you know, not always possible. So during the spring and summer months, I do plan on doing a lot more lives. So make sure that you're subscribed if you think that's something you want to come check out later. And that's going to be it for me tonight. I certainly do appreciate you guys stopping by. Ooh, car. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Again, I certainly appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys around next time. Unfortunately, I don't really have a schedule for lives just for the reasons I mentioned. But again, we'll see you around next time. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye-bye, guys. Happy dotting.